Hey yo, what is good, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about the top option plays to play this week. I'm going to be showing you guys some bullish ones and some bearish ones and kind of both for each stock to tell you guys what I think it's going to happen and what the best plays are. Just trade it based on the market. Don't trade right away. Don't have FOMO. Just some little tips and tricks. I'm not a financial advisor neither. I'm not here to tell you guys what to buy, hold, or sell, but I'm just here to give you guys ideas on what to look at next week based on how the market is moving. So first off, we're going to start off with NVIDIA. And we're honestly just going to show you guys the 1 weeker. We do have 4 days, so I recommend being very patient, maybe playing a 2 weeker, but I'm just showing you guys the 1 week time frame. I do recommend 2 weeks to 3 weeks just to be a little bit safer. But with that being said, in the video, we got some decent news, but not really. It just depends on how the regulations go. And I think honestly, we might be able to see that regulation of AI chips getting shipped overseas kind of lifted. Hopefully we see that, because if we see that, we can see NVIDIA to the upside. But with that being said, I want to see how the overall market moves on Monday or tomorrow, Tuesday. I'm sorry, we got Monday off. But on Tuesday, I want to see how the market moves before I do any of these plays. That's why I want to give you guys both sides. And just based on how the market's moving, this is the plays I'm going to be doing. You can do day trade options. You can do swing trade options, next day options, anything that you really want to do with these plays. But this is what I recommend doing. So to the upside, I do want to look at that 140 level. I do want to look at that 140 level for a call option. Don't mind the price right now, but I do want to look at that 140 level to the upside. We might be able to break that 140 going all the way up to like 145. So it'll probably be $5 in the strike price. But with that being said, 140, 142 max probably for next week. But just to see how NVIDIA really moves. Just see how NVIDIA moves, because we might go to the downside. We might get some bad news with the tariffs and everything like that. Even though their shipment overseas is already over, or not over, but already kind of verified to not be able to be a thing. So profits and stuff like that will drop in the future, and just people's just investors sentiment on this stock will be a little bit lower. But we got to kind of see, maybe it is not going to be a thing truly, but we just got to see how it moves, and that's kind of what's going to determine the stock price. But with that being said, to the downside, I do recommend getting a put, of course, following the downside. If it does go to the downside, I will look at that 135 call, 136, and maybe 137 if you have a little bit more money. If not, I think the lowest I get is 133, but we might not even hit 133, especially with the 1 week. I do not recommend getting 133 or 134, maybe not even 135. I think if you get it for this week, 136, 137, and 138. So keep that in your mind so you stay in the money and you don't lose any money. Also, set a stop loss. So if you put like $1,000 in, if you want to lose 200, put a $200 stop loss, you know. That being said, next one we're going to talk about is MSTR. I think Bitcoin is currently falling right now. It's at like 98,000. It might be falling even more. But with that being said, this does move with Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin's falling, this stock's going to fall. And if Bitcoin rallies up, this stock is going to rally up. With that being said, I do recommend having patience with this one, see how Bitcoin really moves. And yeah, normally I've been noticing a little bit, not last week, but I think the week before and the week before that. At the start of the week, it kind of falls, and then the ending of the week, Bitcoin kind of rallies up. But it can't really always happen the same way, you know. But that's kind of what I noticed. But with that being said, if you do want to play it to the downside, we're going to start with the downside first. I do recommend looking at some of the 380 put, and maybe even the 370 put. This stock goes up and goes down a lot. If you do it the same week, I recommend doing 380 to 390 just to be safer, so you're more in the money. But it's way more expensive, like 1800 right now. It might go up or down next week, but I do want to give you guys caution on that because these ones are expensive. But if we do see Bitcoin going up and we just get some good news with Bitcoin, which we might get just because Trump's big heavy on crypto and Bitcoin in general, I do recommend getting that $400 call and even 405. And if you want to save a little bit of money, maybe 415. But we have to see some good news with Bitcoin and just a rally. I think we need like a new high for it to hit some decent levels. Like we might hit like 420 if we hit a high. But with that being said, I do recommend having your patience in this play. So yeah. Next one we're going to be talking about is Tesla, because Tesla can rally up. And Tesla, I think Elon, there's some good news coming out. I forgot what it was. I'm sorry, but there is some good news. There was some bad news too. I think the SpaceX like blew up in the air, so it did kind of drop a little bit. But with that being said, it only dropped a little bit, so we can either see it fall down even more or go up even more. But I think we're going to open up higher just because of Trump getting in, and they're just basically best friends, you know. But with that being said, to the upside, what I do recommend getting is indeed that 425 call, 430, and then if you don't really want to spend that much, 440. 440 is going to be the max, but this one's going to be very, very risky. If it's the same week, I kind of don't recommend getting it. I think the max that I'd get is probably 430 to 435, just because if we can see some decent trends, like we kind of bounced off that 430, but we did kind of was above it, and we kind of bounced off the 432. So I think 430 might be the safest bet to start off your week with, and maybe day trade if you want to day trade it. That being said, to the downside, if we do still see it keep going to the downside, a key level for the stock is 420. And if we break that 420 level, we might get instantly like $1 or $2 downwards even more. That's what kind of happens normally. So 420 can be a decent price. And maybe if you see it drop even more or just have more bad news, 415, because we might bounce around that 400 level. If we do get bad news, like it might bounce off the 400, go back up, or it might go down to that 395 level. But I wouldn't get down that low. I probably get, if there is like horrible news or something, 410 maybe max, but not even, not for the same week, and probably not for a long-term play. So if you do want to get into this, I recommend that 420, because it might bounce off that 420, so you can do a decent day trade. But just to be safe, maybe 422, 425. So keep that in mind. Another one is SPY. So basically, before you get into SPY, I recommend looking at how the overall market is moving and how all the tech sectors are looking too, like Microsoft, Tesla, Apple, Nvidia, all of the big stocks, how they're moving, because it normally moves SPY. With that being said, if we do go to the upside, I do recommend looking at that 600 level. I think we almost broke it, but we didn't. With that being said, maybe a 598 to the 599 to a 600 call can be the best bets for you. Sorry, these are puts. My bad. Hold on, I gotta go into calls. But with that being said, it's still the same thing. They're a little bit cheaper. But if you want to be very, very safe, I'd get in the money call. So probably 594, 595, or 596, just to be a little bit safer if it does go up. These are kind of a day trade, but I do recommend getting a few days ahead. This is, I think, next day. But with that being said, I do recommend getting a few days ahead for SPY. So keep that in mind. I'm kind of just showing you guys what strike price to get for the week. So you can get it in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, a few days. Be SPY, you can trade it daily. Keep that in mind. But to the downside, I do want to look at that 595 level, 594, 593, because we might be able to break that 590 again. But with that being said, I'll probably get in the money 597, 596, 598. So keep that in mind. Another one that I wanted to show you guys on TradingView. I said this in my last video, but look at how SoundHound is moving the last 4 days. So we get a rally up and then it falls. So what you can really do, you can wait for it to rally up and then buy a put, sell the put, day trade the put, and then do a call option for the next day. And you can make a decent amount of money off this. So I do recommend looking at SoundHound. I'm not going to say it's going to move the same, but I've been playing these 3 plays and it's been working ever since. So you can just rinse and repeat, and then once you lose money, you just lose your stop loss. So it can be profit from the previous day maybe, or something like that. So if you made like $200 profit like yesterday, you can put a stop loss for $200 for this day in case it doesn't work out as planned. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, thanks for watching the video. Smash that like button, subscribe if you guys are new, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.